Hey everybody, how's it going tonight? Welcome on in. Welcome to the channel. This is welcome on in. This is WagWorksGA. I'm Geoff. You could also call me Wags. I'm the G. Geoff with a G. I'm the G in WagWorksGA, and the A is my wife Ashley, and we are a husband-wife creator team, and we do comics for kids. So a lot of that work is graphic novels or also short-form comics for kids. We team up with some awesome fellow creators to do a Substack educational short-form comic. It's good times. But also on here, you're going to see me doing sometimes just regular slice of life comics, sometimes working on kids projects, sometimes working on just video game fan art, because I do enjoy my video game fan art. So welcome on in, get cozy. Yeah, we're just gonna have a nice chill stream tonight. I got a pen. There we go. Yeah, just gonna have a nice chill stream. I have a hard stop at midnight. Might cut it a bit before. It's been a busy week, but yeah. Well, without any further ado, we can get started on warm up. So if you've watched before, I warm up with these guys, Pokemon cards. So I picked out a few that I think could be fun to draw. And I'm going to be just shuffling them here, picking one randomly, and that's going to be our warm up for tonight. So let's see what we got. Your Ninjask. All right, that'll be interesting. Good times. So let me hop over and open up our Clip Studio Paint window. Hold on. Fresh canvas for that. Now we hop over to our Clip Studio Paint window. And I'm going to pull up a quick reference, as you do. There we go. Sometimes it just takes a little while to connect the dots in my brain. It's all good. Okay, drop that on in. And that is huge. Oh, this was not the canvas that I wanted. Hold on a second. Wait. That's what I wanted. Get rid of that guy. Okay. And now, that makes more sense to me. Cool. So we label our layers. Actually doing it before I start the warm-up timer this time. I'm gonna do this time just for fun. I'm gonna write the name of the Pokemon on here. I got that right, didn't I? You know, it's like you've seen it hundreds of times, but then you go to do it and you're like, oh, do I know what I'm doing? So I gotta admit, when I was picking out the card, I figured this could be a fascinating one, because it's not necessarily the cute and fuzzy type of Pokemon. It's got a little bit of that cool, edgy attitude to it. So let's see what I can come up with. Okay, so warm up is just a 5-minute exercise where I'm just gonna do basically a sketch layer. I like to work in the fairly common for comics process of just doing a sketch, then pencils, which is like a neater, cleaner sketch, then final lines, colors, and shading. This is not going to be any of those last several steps. This is going to be just the sketch layer, and maybe if I get somewhere like with it, I'm going to get into pencils. But you know, sometimes I'm just playing around with the character a little bit and I don't get that far, and that's okay, because the goal is to loosen up the wrist and the arm and the brain, and just get in the art mood before I jump into the main project. And it can also give me a good starting point if I want to go back and finish it at some later time. So that said, I'm gonna go ahead and start the timer. I encourage you to draw along with, because art is fun. You don't have to draw the Pokemon. You can draw whatever you'd like. But yeah, let's have a cool, chill time. All right, so Ninja Bug Pokemon. Maybe something like, okay, so we're gonna have, you know, the tree. This is gigantic. Okay, bring that in. So it's gonna be kind of like, maybe we like make the wings come in, kind of folding it like this kind of dramatic cloak. That'd be kind of cool. Doesn't like have, does it have anything other than the front legs? All right. So maybe we have like, head kind of comes in like this. It's got like the cool horns here. Okay. Maybe we could have its like arm coming out there where it's kind of like holding onto the backside of the tree. Got some good music tonight, starting out with Final Fantasy VI Terra and moving on to Smash Brothers Ultimate theme. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I always thought the Nincada and Ninjask line in Pokemon was super cool. But you know what kind of flies aren't cool is horse flies. We've had they were not here for like the first year or so we lived here, or we didn't see like any. And they have just shown up like at the park and playground where we go a lot, and those bites are not a joke, let me tell you. Alright, so kind of bring this brings into the corner there, like that. Okay. And kind of a cool flag across there, and then there's just the geometric pattern on the wings. So if it was coming up from like that, here'd be a bit of here and then come out like that. And then this would still be, okay. That comes out there, that comes out there. Clean that up a little bit. I like it like that, or I was also like, okay, I could make it coming like off the bottom of a branch, right? Like kind of a, that's got like the cool shape there. But it doesn't really have feet, so I'm not sure how much sense that makes. I could do the other side of the branch. Just kind of like stoically. Also kind of swaddled. Maybe that's the way I want to go with this. Bring it up a little bit. Excuse me. That's pretty cool too. Okay, well I have both ideas down. So if I were going to come back to this, I could definitely come in and give it a little bit more thought, test out both, see which one I like the best. But that was interesting. That was a kind of a fun experiment. Usually I just do like the super cute and cuddly Pokemon sleeping, and that's you know, a little more straightforward when you have to think about it a little bit for a bit of a different feel. It can be a fun challenge. It's funny because I definitely use I use the sleeping Pokemon as my kind of default. It's a constraint I use to kind of help jumpstart. Okay, there we go. Now I can see my keyboard. Jumpstart the creative process a little bit, so I'm not just spending forever thinking about like, oh, what do I want them to do, stuff like that. It already like funnels things down, so I can just go on a warm up, and also it's adorable and cute. I love doing it. It's funny because then I also play Pokemon Sleep, right? The sleep tracking app. But it's funny because I think like almost none of the ones that I've drawn are actually in Sleep, which is kind of good because I guess gives me a little bit of a feeling of creative cred. I don't know. Is that a thing? Feeling like instead of just leaning on what they have there, but coming up with my own kind of thing. If they build out too many more Pokemon, maybe I'll have to start thinking of a new constraint just to keep things fresh for warm up. We'll see. Cool. All right, so that takes us to tonight's main project. Jumping on in, working on this. And this does not really look clearly like anything. This is a Kingdom Hearts 2 piece. This is just like the pencils layer. It's the clock tower in Twilight Town, so it's very detailed. This was the quick thumbnail idea that I had for the piece. I'll try to, without too many spoilers. I know the game's been out for a while, but you've got Pantainer and Olette, and then you've got Roxas, and then you're gonna have, I was thinking kind of, it's like the semi-transparent figures of Axel and Xion there. Off on the sides. Sitting here on the clock tower in Twilight Town with their ice cream, what have you. This is a very detailed, geometrically intense piece, so I'm taking some time on this pencils layer, and kind of a second pencils layer, to really make sure I'm getting the angles right, getting it tight so that as I color in, nothing looks just wonky. Because it's the worst when you don't take the time to do that, and then you get to the final piece and realize that you were way off on perspective and things just look kind of weird, when otherwise the piece would have been pretty good. Not that everything has to be perfect angles. In this case, the geometry is important, though. This is just as a reminder. This was one of the thumbnails that I did when I was figuring out the piece that I wanted to do for Donate for Summer Games Done Quick. The video game speedrunning charity marathon. Raising money for Doctors Without Borders this summer. They kick off on Sunday, actually, I think 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. So what I ended up picking is the only piece that you see finished here, the Sonic piece. That's we finished here on stream. And I got it printed and donated it. But instead of doing a canvas print, as I've done for some of the past donations I've done, we did a blanket print, and it came out pretty amazing. We obviously, since I hadn't done that before, I had it set here to check it out ahead of time and make sure everything was in good shape. But it's very soft, very fluffy, and so do I have a picture I can share? I showed a video last time, but I think hold on. Just gonna. Okay, will you let me do this? It does not like the iPhone native file format. That is for certain. Okay. Well, in that case, I will just do this. Don't mind me, just rummaging about. That was actually the same one that we put up on Instagram, but okay. So
it came out pretty.
Yeah, there it is. So that's the blanket. It came out so good. The colors. I wasn't sure how the RGB from Clip Studio Paint would translate on over, but they came out great. And yeah, I was just super excited with the way that it came out. Okay, yeah. Anyway, that was it. I was trying to see if bring it back, but it seems like once it plays, it just kind of pieces out. Let's try again. I can just loop it. Okay, there we go.
It came out
there we go.
pretty great.
Yeah, so
you
yeah,
guys
great. And then we
think?
did like the super fuzzy, like, I hope
It
it
came
definitely
out
was like
pretty
that
great.
Sonic and Knuckles, the Mushroom Hill Zone, was
you guys
definitely a
think?
very cozy childhood memory for me. That sense of coziness.
It
Enjoy
came
to
out
whoever wins it.
great.
I was super excited.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, came out super good. Anywho. No? Just a moment. That's where the media source went. It went here. Okay. Okay. We got there. But anyway. Yeah, so when I finished, like, I put the thumbnails that I did up on Instagram for a vote to help me decide what to finish, and Sonic won, but Kingdom Hearts and also Pokemon White 2 both got a lot of love, so I wanted to come in and finish those as well, at least one of them, if not more. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, so that's where we're at. It's good times. Good times. I'm at 8 maybe? New. Right. Hold on, just so I can see. Actually, because what I could do is take that across. Make sure they're equidistant from that point. Oh, and also this, and then on that one first. Okay, then what I can do is clean this up a little bit. Okay, well that got a little bit messy. Let me clean that up. But I think the end product here is going to be pretty solid. So that. Nope, I want that. Don't want that. There we go. Okay. Okay. Just gonna lasso this on out of here. Okay, that looks pretty clean. Yeah, that's character reference. I just got all mixed in there. So I'm simultaneously working on this piece and a piece for our graphic novel pitch packet, which I said pitch packet like 100 times on stream, but I don't know if I've ever mentioned what that is, which is it's specifically a collection of character art, plot synopsis, details about the book, details about you, and sample pages. And that's what you send to an agent or an editor to either seek representation or to seek being published. And seeing as that we are not yet represented, we are going to be seeking representation. So there's like, okay. There's a little bit of an inner lip, an outer edge on. Okay. Maybe just like an ever so slight. There, and then it's gonna be a line that comes across again, and that isn't it. Yeah, I am. As much as I love Kingdom Hearts and Twilight Town, and so much about this piece, I am very glad that I did not pick this one to do for Games Done Quick, because at the time that I picked, I had like 2 weeks to go from thumbnail to like final art to submit for them to approve before I would actually get it even printed. And trying to get this detail down correctly would have killed me in like 2 weeks, with everything else, you know, that I do tend to juggle. I don't know why I'm cleaning that up so much. It's a pencils layer. I don't really need to do that. Let's make it a little bit thicker than that. Kind of that down the middle, because it's got a nice bevel to it. Probably needs to come out a little bit more to be symmetric. Doesn't feel quite diamond shaped though. So kind of something in the middle is what I'm going for, and I'll probably need to fix that other one too. Well, that is interesting. The music seems to have died. Well, okay. Just a moment while we handle that. Don't mind me, just awkward silence. It's all good. Actually, it's funny. I realized like last week when I showed the video for the Sonic blanket, I muted the background audio, and then I never remembered to turn it back on. Right, I'm gonna save this just in case anybody else is deciding they want to crash right now, because it happens. Goodness knows it happens. All right, maybe I can just cut down a couple windows here. Usually not bad on memory. All right, I'll close down that guy too. Well, this is going well. Oh, technical difficulties. Oh, and it appears that my Clip Studio window now is frozen. So we seem to be heading for maybe some sort of crash. Let's just do this right now. It's no better time for a just chatting than when everything on your computer decides to freak out. Yeah. Yeah. So I will say, well, we've got the time. That I'm super excited. We're coming along. I've been working on the pitch packet in earnest for a bit now. I have our sample pages penciled. I'm not ready to share it just yet. And we've picked one page at least to finish out, do full color, full shading. I'm almost done with the flat colors, and then that'll just leave shading. And it's looking good. I'm really excited. It's a different style than a lot of the stuff that I usually do, but I'm excited for it. It's a different tone for the project as well, so it should be really cool. And then I just have one more finished page that I'll do, and then the character art. But a lot of it's already kind of in progress, so that is good news. All right, what? Okay. OBS seems to have decided that it will show my Clip Studio Paint window right now, so that's good. Windows is just kind of having a little bit of a freak out right now. I'm trying to hold on and let it recover, hoping that I'm not gonna need to go to a full restart, but it's starting to feel a little bit that way. So we'll just hang on. Have a nice, still maybe kind of chill time. It's still pretty chill. I'm not actually too worried about it. Okay. All right. And then we're gonna have another kind of little diamond guy going on in here, just for like the kind of border of this mosaic stained glass type tile work. It's not quite. Okay, that seems better. Okay, that's pretty good. That part comes down here. This will come in here. Like a little bit comes out here. This piece starting to come down. Okay, clean that up a little bit. Just gonna let this go for a minute, then we'll check back in on the computer and see if it's still just having a little bit of a freak out. It's all good. How many times can I say all good nervously while I'm not sure what my computer's doing? I don't know. We're going to find out. A slight bevel on that edge. Yeah. Nope, that's an eraser. That's a line tool. Super slight bevel there. Kind of a bevel here. See how many times I can say bevel tonight. Too short. I can zoom in a bit. That'll make it easier. Yep. I will get the music going just as soon as my computer decides it's not going to lose its mind. Okay. And that's all pretty good. Saving, saving. Okay. Well, that all has been good. All right. Here's what we're going to try this. No guarantees it's going to work.
It's everything you wish for. Your site
Yep,
traffic is
that's gonna be
skyrocketing. Until
just a moment. Okay. All right, music is back at least. That'll be nice. I really like having music to work to. If I'm just sitting on the sofa or anywhere. It's just nice having a little bit of sound in the background. So it's nice to have it back. More comforting to me. Okay. It's like an arch here. Goes most of the way up. That's not. Okay, that's pretty good. A little bit lower. Okay, we're doing pretty good on this. Details coming in. Liking it so far. Just checking something real quick. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, so there is. So I'm gonna do these guys. There's like the inlay depth. That's actually probably a little bit thick. Yeah, that too, probably. I can go a little bit. It's so interesting hearing these. Game Chops has several of these tracks that are obviously something else, but they're clearly sampled from Chrono Trigger. And they have all these really familiar sounding sounds, but they're not at all what I was expecting. That's very interesting. Okay, so now I just need to do, a perfect square circumscribed in here. Nice, okay. And that'll dictate where this comes across. Whee! No, I don't want to turn on sticky keys. Thank you very much. I may have not gotten that center exactly correct. A. It's okay. I think I can work with that. It's that level of detail I'm not really too worried about. Okay, let's clean that up a little bit. I think that's what I was going for. And this isn't gonna need to be perfect because it's just a super neat pencils layer. Just to make sure all this fine detailing and stuff fits. These guys may need to be a little bit wider. Okay. Okay. Alright, that's pretty good. That's looking pretty alright. And especially since we're doing this as a pencils layer, I don't really feel much shame in just copying and pasting this. a little more care is needed there. Okay. Okay. I mean, there's faster ways to move, but I like just keeping it exactly on the same vertical level. Okay. That's pretty good. Just double check, make sure OBS is still showing what I'm doing, and indeed, okay. There we are. All right, indeed it is. That was weird for a second. But also I closed Clip Studio Paint and that is still showing as open. Okay. Just getting these here intricately detailed windows in place. Or not even windows, they're like stone panels. Oh, I would have lost my my clipboard, but you know what? I can just duplicate these layers because they're exact copies. Boom. Whee! That's not quite a wee. That's a little slower. There we go. Yeah. Yep. Right there. Yep. Right. Oh my goodness. You know, sometimes you just have to laugh. You have to laugh when they go unexpected. Do you know? I know. Oh yeah, gigantic. Tiny eraser size there. That would explain why. That would explain that part. But hey, clean this up. I thought I left it at a pretty large eraser size before, but you know. Just two more. I do feel this just the ever so slightest amount of shame for a second, duplicating and then just copying down. I think probably there's an art meme I saw years ago. You know, someone just like is drawing a person and they like duplicate the eye and mirror it just to get it, you know, perfectly symmetrical. It's like, congratulations, you've learned nothing. You did not grow. Like, yes, but now having especially a lot more perspective in terms of approaching comics and graphic novels where you're like, it's cool, I'm just drawing, what, 3 to 8 panels a page for 200 pages or so. Maybe the thing that I learned is that shortcuts are important for your sanity. It's another tool in the belt, right? It's important to learn how to draw these things, draw symmetry and all that, but there's a certain point where you're really just punishing yourself for no apparent reason, is what I think. So I feel less shame these days. It's more about what works and less about, look, I can draw these exact same columns 6 times perfectly identical and perfectly identical, I guess, is really all that I was going for there. But yeah, it doesn't feel like such a pride point anymore. It's like a, why have you done this? You know? Maybe I'm just getting lazy, who knows? Alright. Give myself a little more real estate there. It's coming along. This is a lot of detail. This is intensely slow work, but I'm happy with it. Especially with some of these details I've been adding tonight. I feel like it's starting to truly come together. That was the wrong thing that I was doing. Duplicating is not it. I wanted to merge down, but I didn't do that. I just, you know, just kept duplicating. So that dropped my layer. Oh, interesting. So fun fact, all those layers were actually in purple. But Clip Studio has this fun little feature where you can set the layer expression color to anything you want. I set it to red so it would stand out against the purple sketch. But I guess with the merging and everything, it's like, nope, these are red now. These are red forever. Congratulations. I can live with that. Okay. Okay. Alright, let's bring back our sub view. Yeah, wow. It did not really save any information from last time. Something was going on there. Okay. That part stays the same, actually. So that I will leave. Alright, so we got a rounded arch coming in. I could circle to a lift, but maybe not. How do I read this? That's not going to answer my question. That also will not answer my question. I think that maybe it's not rounded. It actually looks to be angled. Just fairly gracefully. Okay, good to know. Which means I need to figure out the midpoint. About a half, a little less than a half. So take the center line and just shift it ever so slightly this way. Seems to come in about this part I can gauge from here. About at the midpoint here. It's not. You didn't remember the color I was using. You didn't remember anything. It's probably not even, Yep. Dang. Wow. So it's funny because this looks fairly rounded, with maybe a bit of a point at the top. But here it doesn't quite look so rounded, it looks more straight. And also the beveling is different, and these were rendered in like different games, probably different assets for different resolutions. So, I guess that should teach me a lesson. Just do what fits the spirit of it, right? Square. Okay. Just caught myself thinking for a second, what exactly how I want to do the next parts. If there's anything else that I need to adjust. Okay. Just move that over. Again, yes, there are faster ways, but I do like keeping the vertical level constant just because I'm trying to get something that's pretty tightly detailed here. Yay! Okay, that seems pretty good. Actually, I could just lasso these guys out. Yep. That's not what I wanted. Too much. Too aggressive. It's really just right here that I need to clear out. Right here that I need to clear out. Okay. Just rinse and repeating. Don't mind me. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Too much. Cool. Keep it going. Okay. So maybe if you hear a slight booming going on in the background, everything is fine where I am. It is the Magic Kingdom. We live not terribly far from Walt Disney World. And so on nights tonight, especially where they run special after hours or extra late hours at Magic Kingdom Park and have additional fireworks shows at 11, we can definitely hear them. So it's just my good friend Mickey, you know. I guess it figures as I'm doing a Kingdom Hearts piece. You know, works out. Yeah, it works out. I could be super. Yeah. Nope. Actually, it's like that. I'm not going to. Because I erased those lines out, and if I erase that part, it's going to get weird. So I'm just going to let that lie until we do the final lines layer. Alright, last one of these guys. Get rid of these guys. Nice little Chrono Trigger mix we got going on. Very good, very good. We can merge these guys down and not duplicate them this time, Geoff. Okay, let's look at this without the grid. Okay, we're getting somewhere indeed. Okay, I might need to bring some of the scales down on this roof. This is not. Yeah. Yep. For First up, give this that nice big beveled edge across. Just kind of. Something like that. And then, yeah, because this is not. Next layer above. Something like this. And I know, yes, this does indeed give me just a bit more detail to deal with. But it feels like it works a lot better. It fits the scene a lot better. Okay, yeah. That seems more proportionally correct. That feels a lot better to me as well. Okay, so that means I do have to then deal with this kind of bigger thing on the top, but I will do that. That was weird. Apparently I jostled the plug just right to change the color of my studio light. Nice, but it's back now. Good times. Oh, hey, how's it going? Can I call you Don? It's going pretty well for me tonight. How are you doing? Going good too. Glad to hear it. Yeah, just chilling out, working on some Kingdom Hearts 2 art. I picked a really detailed scene, but so far so good. Oh, thanks. That a little bit. Yeah. You know what? I can just clear out that line first. So are you a Kingdom Hearts fan at all? I got 1, 2, 3-ish. You have the games and got stuck in a battle arena but haven't gone back. Fair. It can be pretty maddening getting stuck in that type of situation. Yeah, I haven't. So I've played a lot of the games, but there's so many now. I have not finished the whole series. I played. I'm a big fan. I've played 1 to 358.5 days. Those are the main ones that I've finished. Chain of Memories I've played some of. But I've watched, the rest I've kind of caught up on watching streams of it to just finish out the story. So I know what's going on. It turns out, when you have kids, you lose a lot of gaming time. Or you don't have as much time to game, which is okay. It's a good trade, but it's nice that we have Twitch and YouTube and all sorts of ways now to kind of get caught up on our favorite series, even when we can't play them. The story so far on PS4 was nice. Okay. When you're brave enough. I think that's a very fair sentiment. Well, it's funny too, because like a lot of the, I spent the most time on like 1 and 2 in 358.5 days, and the combat system has changed so much in the newer games. From what I've seen, there's just a lot, like starting with Birth by Sleep and moving on. Yeah, there's a lot. I want to check it out. I actually have on PS3 the both the 1.5 and the 2.5 editions with the extra games. So I started working through 1 again, but it's slow going. I feel like we're terrible. I don't know. I feel like especially early in the games, it's easy to get that feeling. I was even watching a stream of it just like the other night, and when you're seeing someone play like the beginning levels, like the beginning parts, there's just not as much, when they haven't added on all the abilities to chain on extra hits and combos, it looks a little bit slower and clunkier. But then when you see, see someone playing within a few days, like both the early parts and the later parts in the game, it's easier to see how the combat actually evolves with the abilities too. So I don't think it's you. At least, yeah, in my humble opinion. Alright, actually, one more here. There's kind of a gap between these two beveled edges. And one more here. Too small. But yeah, I came into the series as like a huge Final Fantasy fan, and then like a growing Disney fan, and then yeah, it just kind of took off from there. I really enjoy it. Any other favorite games? Oh man, yes. So I grew up as a Sonic gamer. So a lot of the especially the original Genesis Sonic titles are near and dear to my heart. I already mentioned Final Fantasy, the Chrono series, Mario Kart. A game series I love but am terrible at is Street Fighter. And Pokemon is another big one in our house as well. Animal Crossing, a lot of Nintendo fandom here. Zelda series, I love. I've only ever finished one game in the series, but I've played parts of like most of them as well. Again, lots of Nintendo. Anyway, yep, definitely blowing on the cartridges. Late, like a decade too late. I read like, oh no, that can actually oxidize the cartridges, and it may not be the best to put your like humid, warm breath on them. But you know what? It fixed them at the time, and it worked out. Okay, what do we got? This is all pretty good. I'll go ahead and add this guy across. There's kind of like a secondary little bevel here. I'll add that. That's pretty good. Okay. Yeah, before Sonic, we did have an NES, and I spent like Mario 3 was one of my all-time favorites. Okay, maybe it's time to start figuring out this clock. All right. So really, we have maybe the top quarter of it is going to be here visible from what we have on the sides. So let's not start from the center here. Okay, it's going to go a little bit crazy. All right. So I'm gonna get it underneath that third arch for kind of the top. How we doing? Because I know these are offset. What is happening here? Oh, I know. Okay. So yeah, we got the top of the circle right about this third arch. That'll be this big guy here. That does extend all the way out to the other side. Alright. Oh, because yeah. So do you have you mentioned the Kingdom Hearts you liked, but haven't played much of. Do you have any other favorite series that you like to play? Maybe that'll be better. Yeah, that'll be good. Ratchet and Clank. Those always look good. I never really got the chance to play like a lot of those really classic PlayStation platform games. They always look so like fun, but I just yeah, never got a chance to check them out. Like amongst all of those, do you have a favorite, or is it all kind of equal? Okay. So kind of concentric circle in here. Wait, this is a little tricky. There we go. Okay. Your uncle introduced you to it? That's cool. Like I like how I like the fun like family extended family gaming stories. It's always heartwarming to hear. Too big. Okay, let's try. That is definitely too big. Okay. Maybe right there, maybe. Okay, that seems pretty good actually. You replay them over and over, never get tired of them. I love it. I think, especially now, there's so many games out there. It's hard to get that same sort of level of familiarity. But like, oh man, I love it when you can just get so familiar with like a level, like you know every corner of it. Yeah. 10th or 11th playthrough. That's pretty solid. But they also seem like games that are really good for that. Like, it's kind of a lot of replayability. Still die in the same spots. Probably. Okay. Alright, maybe I should try from the center here. Alright, well, let me do that. Okay. Oh, Clip Studio Paint is spectacular. I've been using it for 3 years, 4 years now. It's great. I have really no complaints about this program. I love how it handles both raster and vector. I'm doing fan art right now, but I do a lot of comics. And it's made for comics. It actually kind of evolved from the program Manga Studio. So yeah, it's got a lot of really good tools. It's very powerful, and you can just buy it once and own it forever, and that is really enjoyable. Yeah, if you're looking, I mean, they have, I think you can get like a 7-day free trial or something like that. I can't remember what the trial period is, or there's some sort of limitation where like you can't save, which is really obnoxious. But if you're thinking of buying it ever, wait until, actually I should take a look if they have a sale going on right now. Why is my caps lock on? Yeah, they run sales throughout the year, and they're really good sales as well. I don't see. Yeah, I don't know if there's a sale going on right now, but if you keep watching, I mean, even without the without a sale, like it's I think $54 for a perpetual license. Which is great. And then if you catch it on the sale, you can get it for something like 25 bucks. Yeah, definitely recommend it. Like you can get it for a really good deal, and it's very much worth the value. Since we're doing, my wife and I are a creative team, so she writes, I draw. Since we're working on a graphic novel that we're trying to get published, the page management and the next level up is really helpful. But if you're not doing anything like that, the basic version is incredibly powerful and really great. So you're an artist? I think I'm just making these too small. Alright, this one I might actually freehand because I'm getting tired of trying to do this. Get this partial circle exactly lined up. Oh wow, so graphic designer and concept artist. Oh, that's super cool. Yeah, I would love to do stuff like that. Yeah, I wish I had more of a background in graphic design. Like I did an online like course for, you know, like a few months certification just to kind of get the basics of it, since I knew I was lacking in that area. But yeah, I wish I knew more about it, or studied a bit more of it. I'm actually a self-taught artist, so I didn't go the art route in school. In my day job, I am a meteorological programmer. So, and anyway, that was a very long way of saying, hey, that's awesome. Graphic design is super cool, and I love it. All right, that was pretty good. Except I'm now realizing it's a much bigger concentric circle in there. All right. So if you're already doing like graphic design and concept art, what software do you use right now? Are you on the Adobe train? Something like that. Photoshop, Illustrator, and Canva. Oh, and Blender for 3D. Oh, that's super cool. I've installed Blender. I have several books on Blender. I have not invested the time to get good at Blender. But yeah, one of the cool things is with Clip Studio Paint, you can bring in 3D models. So if you can build 3D models in Blender, you can build your own custom sets and characters and stuff and bring them in and position them to help you drawing a scene, which is super cool. Yeah, like materials. Yeah, so for example, you can, this is like, they have an assets shop where you can get a lot of stuff actually for free. So I can drag in this 3D model of like a elevated bed that somebody made, right? And I can rotate it around, get whatever angle I want. You know, moving the camera, I can rotate the object itself if I'm doing a scene with multiple elements in it. Yeah, it's great, and there's lots of free assets that you can use that are there. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's you can bring all of it right in there. It's they have actually those are just some of the downloaded ones, but the 3D. Some of these I've downloaded. They also have a lot of default models for characters, structures, a lot of primitives that you can drop in. There's a lot of like entire scenes, like a living room, office, stuff like that. They have standard figure drawing models that you can bring in. It's all very, very helpful. And it's stuff that I think is very much there to, you know, it's a program that was made for manga and comics, so it's there to help artists who are trying to do a lot of panels in a short time. So there's a lot of really good tools in there. So that's all, yeah. That's a whole other side of it. And yeah, if you're learning Blender, that actually means you can do even more with the 3D side of it in Clip Studio Paint, which is super cool. So I may not be able to get that gear in there. That would have been cool. Maybe I can shift this over slightly. By the way, I didn't see it earlier, but thank you for the follow. I always appreciate it. Move over a little bit that way. Can I draw these guys out a little more? This is coming down. I can actually fit in a little bit of that. I'll come higher up so I can do that because it looks cool. We'll see. That may not come in as clearly as I want, but I can always adjust that later. Alright, let's get... Okay. Maybe I've learned my lesson about trying to line these up where they're hanging off the edge. We'll see. Got yet another concentric circle in here. Of course, I could have also just used vector and copied and pasted and shrunk them, but, you know, if I was thinking ahead and not just doing my pencils on the raster layer. So, I know Illustrator does vector. Does Photoshop support vector layers as well? It's been a while since I've used it. Something like that. All right. So let's see where we come from our quick thumbnail sketch. Yeah, I'm glad I made the clock face bigger because the characters are definitely a little big in the thumbnail, but I can adjust that down. Only raster, okay. In Illustrator for poster design. That is one of the things that I do enjoy about Clip Studio as well is that you've got your vector and your raster all together. Granted, I don't go and like tweak vertices for every single line that I draw, but it's nice to have the option. And then you've got a lot of like the vector erase tools, which are super helpful. So you can just like erase up to a line intersection pretty quickly. I'm sure it's probably very similar to what Illustrator can do, but it's nice to have it just in your same program that does raster. So like I can do this, and then if I want to just like erase out a chunk of line, right? It does that, and that's pretty nice. And yeah, I can go in after the fact and, you know, adjust my line. Pretty standard stuff there, but it's nice to have it all in one program. Okay, how much more detail do I want to add in here before I start working on some more final lines or sketching in some of my characters? I know this is fairly detailed for a pencils layer, but I really do like to try to get it all into place here so that I can just focus on like pen pressure and all of that when I'm doing my final drawing. Good here. These are fairly thin. It's not centered. So I have to ask, since you're a graphic designer, I always like to hear what people's like #1 graphic design pet peeve is. Just a little bit thinner. When you give a client what they want and they still don't like it. Yeah, that sounds about right. Do you put like a limit on the number of changes they can request to a final design? Changes. So I don't do graphic design professionally, but I did sometimes I do mapping in my work, and yeah, like you'd get the map and then like just the infinite amount of changes, like change the color of this line, can we make this color? It's crazy. Thinner. Your last job was infamous. Some clients are interesting for sure with that policy. I believe it. I believe it. Okay. Alright, so let's look at Oh, infinite, not infamous. I mean, they could be infamous for asking for infinite changes. All right, how do I want to do this? Okay. So clearly these characters are just a little bit big in perspective. Spell check. What's one thing I would like added in any program? Ooh, that's a good question. I think, oh man, dude, I'm still trying to figure this one out. I mean, added or changed potentially would be like more intuitive menus. Yeah. More, well, not just intuitive, but easily navigable. Because like a lot of my time I spend in like in Python, and not even necessarily in IDE, but just like editing program files in like, you know, Vim or whatever, and that's a pretty bare bones program where you're not really feeling like you're in a program. But then when I'm outside of it, I'm in like Microsoft Office suite, and I do not like what they've done with like the ribbons across, and it just every few years they just shuffle everything for fun. You're like, why would you do that? So I think, and GIS too, Esri's ArcGIS software for mapping, that's one where they switched over to Pro in the last, you know, several years, and it's just, if you knew ArcMap, it's way harder to find everything. So I don't know if I'm just set in my ways and I just need to, you know, I mean, I largely do just figure it out, but I feel like there's got to be a better way to do menus, where they're just not so in your, like, I think that's what bothers me with Word and GIS is like, the ribbon bars are so huge and they take up so much real estate, but they don't actually help you get anywhere. Clip Studio has been, by comparison, very intuitive. Even though it has a lot more tools, it's customizable, but also it's like, it's small. It's not in the way of you doing what you're trying to do. It doesn't take so much real estate without really serving a purpose, or without really being efficient. Maybe that's what I'm getting at. That's the best answer I can come up with right now. Because I think like a lot of other stuff is very context based, like what's the program doing? Like, okay, I was gonna do a thing, and that thing was what? Just gonna come in and grab the characters. Can I grab all of them? Probably not. I should probably just grab the contiguous ones here. We'll duplicate this. Move them up here. Go over, grab Roxas. Actually, wait, is that a different layer? No. you up here. Bring poor Axel, who is missing a foot. And Shion. Duplicate them. Oh, right. It's not going to duplicate it because it doesn't think I have anything to duplicate. There we go. So you said you're still working on the answer to that question, Don? So now if I do that, there we go. That is exactly what I wanted. Okay. So I can merge these all down. That should be way easier to resize them a bit. Okay. Better. Pence is perhaps a little giant right now. His head was like much larger. It's a hard one. You can't answer a question. I guess that means it's a good question, right? If it provokes that level of thought. Okay. Oh, holy moly, it's already 11:58. Cool. All right, drop the grid. Okay, we made a lot of progress tonight, considering the fact that I had technical issues and had to cut stream once and come back. This is not bad. Okay. Okay, so thank you. Yeah. So this is actually where I'm gonna end up calling it tonight. I do have to call it just to get some rest, get up, got 2 kids and the day job, so I will be cutting it here. Don, thank you so much for joining me. It's been fun talking with you. I hope to see you again sometime. Yeah, thank you. You too. And yeah, it's appreciated, and it's a good conversation is always appreciated. So have a good night. Yeah, sorry, just running through a mental checklist here. That's good. So that is gonna do it for tonight, everyone. Thank you, everyone who's here watching. Thank you if you were lurking. Thank you if you're watching the VODs. Thank you if you're watching this on YouTube. Next week will be a little bit different because 1 week from today is the 4th of July holiday here in the US, and I will not be streaming on the 4th. I will be streaming the day before, Wednesday, July 3rd, at 10 p.m. Eastern time here in the States. And the special thing about that day is that it is my 1-year stream anniversary. My very first stream was last year on July 3rd. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to do to celebrate the milestone, but I plan on doing something. We're all just gonna find out next week on Wednesday. But yeah, it's I can't believe a year already, and I actually have kept it up on a weekly basis. I'm very proud of that. It's been good. It's been a fun journey so far, and I'm looking forward to continuing it, seeing how we might grow as we go into the next year. So next week, Wednesday, not Thursday, Have a great week in between, everybody. I hope you're having a great night, a great week, hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much. Bye.